From the far side. Sneezing, I gotta throw hard over me as I attack the far side. Yeah, I mean, I used to do that as like a fake to get him to let go. But I was a little nervous about committing to it. But it's very effective.
And for me, I was really disciplined about when a guy got the 2-1 on me, I wanted to get an underhook on him because I was an underhook guy. So my standard movement right away, he grabs here, I grab here, and it's a fight. I'm looking for this, looking for that. And so we're going to go to underhook later probably and clear an underhook and everything else. But that was my primary move. But it's nice to have more than one. I'm not a big fan of the 360 double.
No.
And I know people must teach it because it happens. So, but we're not going to teach it.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing I ever see from a 2-on-1 that's probably worth talking about. And I always tell my guys, if you are getting caught in a 360 double, you don't have a 2-on-1 on the guy. You've got something else different. Because if a guy goes for a 360 double against someone who's got a good, he should just be like ramming me in the back and running me on my face. So 360 double is not one that I like. All right, underhooks.
Underhooks. A lot of wrestling in my mind is, what is he trying to do? I'm going to try and do the opposite. So an underhook, he gets good position, tries to jack me up. So if I get an underhook, the thing I think about is just doing the opposite. I try and drop my weight and get my weight heavy hand down. So it doesn't matter the side. It doesn't really matter how I get out, whether I go into him or away from him. I have to drop this shoulder. And so for me, the key to it is he's strong right here. If I try and go right against his power, it's hard. Okay? So all I do is I come back at his elbow, and then I straighten my hand and try and bring, like right now, we can hang out here all day. He's got the underhook technically, but look at his elbow. He's got nobody's got any power here. He could try and jack me up or try and pull my head down, but I'm the one that's got his elbow turned in. So my goal when I do it is I drop my weight hard. So Heist is really good at this actually. So right here, head position or not, head position is important, but it's more important to get his elbow, his underhook beat. Beat that elbow. I jack it down hard, right here. I'll go right here, I lower my level. I have to lower my weight. I put my weight right through it. All my weight is right here. Here. Okay? Once I get here, now I can circle out. I can do my limb. But I keep my weight low. The biggest mistake I see is this. I come up high to try and get out of it. Even if I do the shoulder slip, right? You tell a knife in his head off, right? I don't know. I see this one a lot, where you bring your shoulder up, and then I bring my elbow down, like I'm trying to chop off his head, like that. It's a samurai cut here. People in Japan. Here. So even if I do that move, which is a good one, I circle out, like this. I'll bring my elbow up to his neck, and I slide it out. I have to keep my weight or my body low. I can do this without having to come up out of my stance. So the biggest mistake I see is here. I get people try and do this, up high, and then they just get run down. Right now, look at my other hand. Here, this other hand is down, ready to stop a shot. So even if I come here like this, I'm low. He's not getting underneath me, and if he shoots on me here, then I'm ready to stop. So to me, the most important thing is beating that elbow and staying low, not getting jacked up high. So the other thing is I'll just, Donnie Kritzloff was the king of this, is he comes right here, he grabs the inside, and then he tries to break your elbow. Right there. So right here, and then he just runs right to a single. That's it's harder to get, but it does clear. I may not score with it, but it makes the guy feel so uncomfortable, he lets go, and he lets go of the underhook too. So it's a good way of clearing, not necessarily scoring. You do that one?
We know we talked about most of the same. I see three things I'm looking for. My favorite thing is the first one he said he called samurai. The second one he talked about, I'm going to come here. If a guy's got an underhook, he doesn't have me deep yet. I'm going to come here, but all of a sudden, this elbow's, I'm trying to get here as fast as I can. Because you're vulnerable here. You got to get here. So we drill this one all the time. You get an underhook, I come here, and then I hit my crotch. So I'm coming right from his underhook, here, and I'm moving his head, my crotch. So I'm making that an active hand. Boom, 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 boom. And you're vulnerable right here. So I say you got to samurai it, you got to down block, whizzer it, or the third thing you do is block his bicep. So I'm gonna, he's gonna block his bicep right here. So if I block his bicep, here, he doesn't have a full under, if I go here, this is kind of a, unless you're really got some crazy whizzer stuff, he actually has it. There are some guys who can do some kicks, maybe they have judo backgrounds. The whizzer, I think, is gonna get beat 8 out of 10 times by an underhook. But there are guys who are great with the whizzer. Once again, you're gonna have those guys. A lot of them in Canada have a judo background. I never try to take something away that's natural. But if that's not natural, if I whizzer down Lars here, he's got the advantage. So that's why when Matt did it, he whizzered low. The elbow first. Chris up, whizzer low. So I got 3 options of whizzer low, or if I block the bicep right here. He's only got a half underhook if I block the bicep. And this works really well at heavyweight. Okay? And I coach a lot of heavyweights, so it's not an insult, it's just, it's a different kind of wrestling, right? If a guy underhooks you at heavyweight, you block his elbow, you pull him here, and you step on his foot, and then you got a single leg. And it's 100% illegal, but you'll never get called on it because the refs aren't looking at your feet. McIntyre won an Olympic silver medal in Greco with that move. In Greco, he go here, he put the guy's leg like that. He just stepped on the guy's foot. Olympic silver medal. So he was really good right here. He's not, instead of fighting an underhook like you normally would, he just right here, off the elbow. He's still got a half an underhook. I gotta think. But at the lightweight, you're not gonna get it. The weight that's more of an upper body weight. Off the elbow.
Yeah, again, I don't clamp down right on his power. I swing back and try and clamp on his elbow. And I'll straighten my arm and get right to here. I'll hang out here. If I can't clear it, say, I don't panic. A lot of people, they panic and they get out of position to try and get away. That's when they're going to get taken down. So as long as if I'm staying right here like this, I don't feel very vulnerable right here. I don't feel like, so eventually it's going to clear. Now it's clear. Or he's going to give it up. I had a lot of guys just push it away because as soon as they feel like this, you know, what are they going to do then? Nothing.
And if you have a guy who's down whizzering hard at the elbow, then he's good at a carry. A carry may open up there. You know, I'm not a carry guy myself, but I was an underhook guy, so I did carry many guys. Yeah. I mean, if you're an underhook guy, there's 2 things you got. We're going to talk about underhook later, I hope, because it's one of my favorite things. But when I'm underhooking, because we're talking about all the opposite things, he's got 2 options. If my head's high, I get caught in the head and arm throw, whatever it's called, boom, there. Or if I'm extended here, he's going to get the carry. Okay, those are the 2 biggest guys, 2 biggest things to know for an underhook. But if I got his head here, like I got my hips here, it's really hard to do any of those things. So when we talk about underhook, that's it. So obviously the opposite of that would be winning head position, extending the arm. Okay, so that's clearing ties. Any other ties you want to talk about?
Just a drill for clearing the front head that we talked about earlier. I do this a lot. Is I have it pull down here, and I just practice without using my arms, get my head back across his chest and up. So he pulls it down, here, I get my head across and up. Here, do it again, here, boom. Here, I get my head across, up and in. Okay. I think it's like live wrestling too. So he must have trained at SFU, Justin. Yeah, so then, you know, the other guy goes. So that's a good drill, just practice getting that pressure into him and that head across. But that's the other major tie, clearing front head. We already talked about it, so. Okay, leg defense.
Good morning, and yeah, we're going to talk about leg defense, but anything on clearing ties? I mean, the real major ties you're going to see in high school wrestling are collar tie, which hopefully you're the one going there first and you're moving your feet. When they go, you're short necking it, you're elbow passing it, you're moving your feet, you're not doing this, because that's the reaction they want. You touch your head, they want you to go like that, because now your feet are both set. So we're clearing ties with foot movement there. The next ties you're going to see are the ones we talked about right now. Wrists, wrist elbows, 2-on-1s, underhooks.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't spend enough time, I don't think, in the room in my college teams talking about clearing ties because we're always focused on what we're trying to do, because you want your guys thinking about offense. You want them thinking about offense. So you almost got to present this like this is your offense off of their time. So
Yeah.
we're thinking of it as aggression, it's not passive, it's aggression. We're taking their time, we're making it hard. We're scoring off their under, we're scoring off their 2-on-1, we're scoring off their wrist control.
Yeah, so the drill is, partner takes a 2-on-1, I clear it to my attack. Partner takes an underhook, I clear it to my attack. Partner takes a front head, I clear it to my attack. Partner grabs my wrist, I clear it to my attack. That's how you set it up, you know, for drilling, because now I'm getting the rep of different ties and my offense.
So, any questions on this? Simple, right? Simple, straightforward, but very complex, right? It is. It's simple, it's easy, and it's very complex. So leg defense is no different. We talked about it yesterday. Me and him start wrestling, and we shake hands, and you know what? It's all about elevation, right? You know, I talk about the simple things. Mike Jones said, lowest effective wrestler is going to win. He'd always say that, lowest effective wrestler is going to think. A lot of people focus on lowest. Okay, so you want to wrestle like John Smith, Zeke Jones, Gail Sanderson, right? I can't. If I get this low, I'm not that effective. The real word to key on is effective. Because I'm pretty darn low right here. How do you like me now, Pat? All right. I don't like my chances. So it's not, the key word is not lowest, it's effective. So I got two choices. I get lower than him and penetrate his legs, or I put him lower than me and I take control because I'm effective. So leg defense is a lot about elevation, knowing where you're effective and where your point is. Right? So if I got a guy that I'm wrestling, my first line of defense is elevation. Obviously my second line of defense is what? Forehead. Yeah, my forehead, right? He talked about Johnny Prince. The guy won a bronze medal of the world. Because this is all we can do is talk about wrestling. He won a bronze medal of the world in 2006, and he looked like Rocky after the movie and the beginning of number 2. When his whole face was swollen shut, because he blocked every shot with his face. This guy was right here. When he goes down, I gotta go down. I gotta go down, especially if I'm wrestling a guy that I know likes to shoot from the outside. Gotta meet his elevation. So elevation drills are good. They're good for leg defense. Okay? And then I got all kinds of other things I can use. My first weapon is probably going to be my hands. Right? If you're a good hand fighter, people think you're good at leg defense, but you're really just good at keeping guys from shooting on you. These hands are there so when he shoots, I can stop him. I can pop him and stop him. I miss him with my hands. I got these things called elbows and forearms. They're there too. You can use them. Obviously not MMA, I can't do this, but if he comes into my leg, I can do that. This would be funner to do Lars. I know. Isn't that what he's up here? I beat him. He beats me. I got hands, I got elbows. I got this sort of diamond of